Of course, Shefty was right. Bucks and Panthers, I told you, Carolina was a home lock last night, which means Jameis Winston was guaranteed to snap an 0-for-5 streak as the starting quarterback. He started with that nice ball there to Mike Evans, who had 4 catches for 61 yards. And then this one, Bob, for the touchdown to Chris Godwin.
You see him hammered in there. They run 2 posts, breaking inside. Great call by Bruce Arians. You can see Godwin get across the face and a strike by Jameis.
That was late in the first half. Bucks take a 10-6 lead. Now Bucks down 2 in the third quarter. They're in the red zone. And here comes Peyton Barber bashing through the middle.
Quarterback's best friend is a good running game. When you can get Barber going downhill like that, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
He had 23 carries for 82 yards and that touchdown. And then later, when trying to seal the game on a third down, that's Winston, that's Godwin, that's a first down. Jameis Winston, a nice night. 16 of 25, 208 yards, and a win.
I think we can never, stop learning each other. I mean, we still hadn't got Mike Evans the ball over 10 times yet, so it's still a lot that's open. The great thing is we have been dominating in the run game. Our running game ain't been like this in a long time, so that's great. When you can dominate the line of scrimmage, the pass game will eventually open up.
Now, the numbers may not have been huge for Jameis last night, but compared to week 1, it was wide open. He completed 50% of his throws 15 yards downfield yesterday for 120 yards and a touchdown. You see, week 1, it was just 2 for 6 for 44 yards on those same throws. And overwhelmingly, the most important thing to tell you about Jameis Winston last night is that he didn't turn the ball over, because obviously that has been the big criticism. You're a quarterback, Mark. What did you see from Jameis Winston last night?
In that game last night, I loved what I saw. It was wet. It was sloppy. A war of attrition, right? Defenses are going to play well. The ball's going to be loose. And he managed to hang on to the ball. He's been criticized for it quite a bit. And on this final drive, he goes down and gets some points. That's all you can ask for this kid. That's a good notch in his belt to move forward and progress.
Go ahead, John.
What I liked was he was very candid in the press conference about the running game is going to open up the passing game. And I love that Bruce Arians is not pushing the issue in the passing game. He has tremendous talent on the outside. But he said, as you mentioned, not too many passes downfield in week 1. Let's see if he can handle it in now the Thursday night game and then progress the offense more and then have Jameis Winston have more of a responsibility.
And I love what Bruce Arians is doing right here, because if you look at him in Pittsburgh with Roethlisberger, he pushed the ball down the field. Same thing he did out in Arizona, and they were doing that last night. One of the best things Jameis does, he has that big arm. He's a big physical guy, and it's tough to throw an interception when you're really pushing the ball down the field. Yeah. A lot of times it's the intermediate throws, and so no turnovers last night for Jameis. That's a huge step. If he can continue to develop that down the field stuff with Bruce Arians, he's putting him in position to have success. Yeah. He might end up getting an extension and be the answer there in Tampa Bay.
I don't think it's a might. If he continues to play that way, he will get an extension. He'll be the franchise quarterback for the Bucs.
You're right. Listen, I mean, a Thursday night on the road, coming off of a 3-interception performance at home in your opener, that's a big-time performance, I think, from Jameis Winston. Impressive, and they get a win that they needed. As far as Cam Newton is concerned, just how concerned are you that we have seen the best of what he could be in the first incarnation of Cam Newton, meaning this ridiculous physical specimen, and that he's going to have to change up the way he plays to be effective?
When he's healthy, he's an NFL MVP. He's playing in a Super Bowl. He's one of the most dynamic players this league has ever seen. But right now, something's off, right? He came into this league a year before Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck just walked away from the game because he's been hit so much, because he's been hurt. Cam Newton's rushed the ball 1,000 times in his career. He's getting just absolutely destroyed out there. He's got to preserve his health. They got to keep him upright. He's got to take less hits.
And what a difference a year makes, because last year at this time, first 7 games, he was on fire. He looked like the former MVP. Right. Hurts his shoulder, struggles down the stretch, ultimately has to have surgery, and now he doesn't look like the same guy anymore. Hopefully he can turn the corner with that, but usually when the season starts, Greeny, you are what you are.
Let me leave that there for the moment, because I want to get to some of the other big topics around the NFL on this Football Friday. Obviously, one of them going into the Cowboys opener last Sunday was how Dallas finally locked down Ezekiel Elliott to a new deal. But after the game, it was Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott everyone was talking about. He threw for 405 yards and 4 touchdowns and had a perfect passer rating. And that's where we're going to begin this morning's edition of On the Clock. Let me put 60 seconds on the clock here, and we will talk about Dak Prescott. And the question is very simple, although the answer may be not some. Should the Cowboys make Dak Prescott the highest paid player in the National Football League right now? Go.
They're going to have to, because with the way he's playing, his production is matching up with that. Jerry should have got this deal done in training camp or going into the season. the best thing for Dak that happened is they got Zeke signed. It took the heat off of him. You saw how good he was in the second half. He was looking accurate with the football. He looked very confident. And if he does this for 2 or 3 more weeks, his representation, they're going to push for that, and Dallas is going to have no way to counter it.
Bobby, Dak Prescott will be the highest paid player in the NFL when it's all said and done because he completes this Dallas Cowboys offense. We have Zeke. They need Zeke. He's a workhorse. They have the talent. You see Witten scoring a touchdown. Dak Prescott completes the Dallas Cowboys offense, and we saw it when he was there just as a rookie. Remember, we saw him in preseason. We're like, whoa. Who's this guy? Wow, he's pretty good. And then sure enough, he eventually became the starter. He is going to be the highest paid player.
I agree with you. There will come a time at some point in the near future where I will open the show by saying Dak Prescott is now the highest paid football player that ever played. Let me get to another quarterback here. Deshaun Watson, brilliant on Monday night, but sacked 6 more times. He was sacked 62 times last year. Put 60 seconds on the clock, and here we go. Are we worried Deshaun Watson is going to be the next Andrew Luck?
I am worried Deshaun Watson will be the next Andrew Luck in a different way, though, because he believes in his legs and his ability to run the ball or get the ball down the field and make a play. So he will sit in there, and he will sit there, and he will sit there, and then he'll take the hit, and he'll take the bludgeoning because he says, I'm a competitor and I can come back. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a point where he can't come back, and I am concerned.
I'm more worried that he can end up being the next Cam Newton or the next even David Carr, because you look at all the shots that Cam took. We're talking about it right now, how he's struggling. And if you go back since 2002, did a little research, Greeny, guys that have played a full NFL season, sacks per game over their career, David Carr, number 1, an older Drew Bledsoe, number 2. And then all of a sudden you have this guy, Deshaun Watson. Houston is going to ruin him if they don't start getting him some protection. He will not be able to hold up because he's not near as big as Cam either.
I do believe that they're telling him, get the ball out of your hands. I don't think that they're designing the offense for him to just sit there and take these hits. They're telling him, get the ball out. It's him mentally saying, I can make a play.
All right, we'll see what happens. Again, he's my pick for MVP this year, but they have to keep him standing upright. One more here on the clock. Chris Mortensen reports the Dolphins have granted Minkah Fitzpatrick's request to seek a trade.
Love it.
That has less to do, I think, with them tanking than other things. Yeah. But that is a big topic here. 60 seconds on the clock. John Vilma, if you were a player in the Miami Dolphins right now, what would you do?
I would do the exact same thing Minkah Fitzpatrick did and ask for a trade. What I love about the trade, it's not a public thing. He didn't go to social media, IG posts or anything like that. He handled it internally and said, look, can I seek a trade? Yes. Now it comes out that he's seeking a trade because why? He wants to win. That's the whole point of this game. I've always had an issue with fans that talk about the money. And they forget that we're competitors by nature at heart, and we want to win games. It is so embarrassing for him to go out there and then lose the game 59-10. You know how embarrassing that is as a player, as a competitor, to come back and talk to your fellow comrades about, oh yeah, we just got beat up by the Ravens. No big deal. No way.
I mean, they got abused. It was absolutely atrocious. The one thing, like you said, he did it in a very respectful way. He didn't record his coach. He didn't have production around him, put all that on YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is. I completely understand this because it's hard for you, as you know, John, to go in after practice, watch film, take care of your body, invest all this time and every day for a win when you know the organization isn't really investing the same amount of equity.
That's the point. It's not about quitting on a bad team. There are always bad teams. He's not quitting on his teammates. He's letting the organization know if you're not trying to win, I'm not interested in being a part of it. 100%. All right, that's the football story for the moment. Now let me get you some baseball here. We run the bases through a crowded National League wildcard race. The Phillies slugged 4 home runs in their 9-5 win over the Braves. That gets them a split of a 4-game set. Phillies hit 26 home runs in September, tied with the Yankees for the most in the majors this month. Meanwhile, the Mets stayed hot. They hit 6 home runs at home for the first time in franchise history, and they finish off a 4-game sweep of the Diamondbacks with an 11-1 win on Thursday. Juan Lagares had both his first career Grand Slam and first career multi-home run game in the win. The Mets will now open a 3-game series with the Dodgers at Citi Field. And then there are the Brewers. They finish off a sweep of the Marlins, so they get their 7th straight win overall. That's a 3-2 win yesterday. Ryan Braun hit a 2-run shot for the Brew Crew while wearing Tristan Yelich's jersey under his own. Yelich, as you know, out for the year. Milwaukee improves to 25-15 in 1-run games. That's the 4th best record in the majors. And then how about the Cubs? They kept pace with the Brewers. They salvage a split of their 4-game series in San Diego with a 4-1 win. Yu Darvish got the win, striking out 14 over 6 scoreless. The 14 strikeouts, Darvish's most since 2013 and tied for the 2nd most of his career. So where are we now? The Cubs head back to Wrigley to start a 10-game homestand today against the Pirates. Nats, Brewers, and Mets all open weekend series against division leaders. The Mets with the Dodgers, Washington hosting the Braves, and the streaking Brewers taking on the Cardinals. Back to football as we go. Coming up, can Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense get it together against the Vikings D? Answers to that question and more. Get up on ESPN.